Dream cheating on speedrun. That was fucking nuts. I didn't finish all of it, but that was fucking wild. I really want to wait for Dream's response though before forming a full opinion, but that math is pretty damning. A 29-page, like, peer-reviewed study on him faking a run, possibly. I think the odds were like 1 in 7.5 trillion to get the run that he got. Like, it was astronomical numbers. It was fucking crazy. No, he hasn't. The only thing he's responded to is on Twitter, calling it clout chasing, which I think is a terrible response. I don't think you should ever say things like that. It makes you look kind of like a narcissist and also doesn't disprove anything. So I never really liked that response, and I'm surprised he would say that. So he hasn't made like a response actually tackling it. That's all he's really said about it. So I'm waiting to see what he has to say about it before forming a real opinion on it. But that video and those papers are pretty wild. I find it hard to believe he'd cheat, but that math is fucking wild. Actually, here, let's watch that. That actually sounds kind of interesting. I didn't finish it, and I didn't even read the full paper, only skim. Does it pop up when I type this in? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't even fucking play Minecraft, and I found myself glued to this fucking thing. 29 pages. Just look at this. A table of contents. This is papers I used to write for my fucking human sciences major. Having to write real research papers, make the graphs, do all the mathematics, the methodology, the abstract, binomial distribution. Like, holy shit. They went deep, like actual mathematicians tackling it. Did he write? Here, we'll go through the whole saga then. If he did make a response, I didn't see it. I'm assuming it was on his alt account on Twitter. I don't think making a Twitter post is the right way of doing it though. I would like to actually hear him. I mean, I might try Minecraft at some point. No, he hasn't made anything addressing it, except for this couple of posts here. This is the first time he talked about it that I saw. Rejected for being too unlikely to verify, video made by headmod, Geosquare using my name and clickbaiting, cheating speedrun in order to get easy views. Definitely a response, total BS. Like, I think this is very not a good look. I never like when someone accuses someone of doing something just for clout chasing. Like that, when there's like a full fucking study done on it. Like, at least dispute the claims and prove that you're innocent when it comes to cheating in Minecraft. Have multiple moderators messaging me that they believe the verdict was biased and they might quit the mod team. What kind of investigation was this? I mean, a thorough one. 2 months worth of research and 29 pages of mathematical data. It's not like it was just thrown out of nowhere. I don't think it was necessarily a grab for publicity. So I'd really like to hear his response, because I find it very hard to believe that Dream would cheat. Especially in something that wasn't even world record. Like, I just find that super hard to believe, but after skimming some of that, it's pretty fucking tough. Oh, Dream oh, hold on, sorry. Let me get the whole thing set up. I want to go through this entire thing. So he responded on Reddit. Another not good place to tackle the issue, I would say. He's putting it on platforms where not a lot of people visit, and I don't like that. For something this serious, you should address it head-on like your main platform, considering his channel is built around his pride as a speedrunner. Okay. This is not 10 pages, but it's what we got. Okay, let's go.
Analysis paper that thoroughly examines the case and accounts for bias. That paper can be found in the description. This video, however, is meant to make that information more accessible to a wider audience, debunk any misinformation, and present circumstantial evidence that isn't proper to fit in the paper's objective analysis. All that being said, please watch through to the end to hear the entirety of our argument.
There is a 10-page response? Where? It's not here. Where is it? Our speedrun? Alright, let's get everything up. This is gonna be my Zodiac killer here. I'm gonna crack the code on if Dream cheated or not. This'll be my white whale. I'll be the detective. I don't even fucking play Minecraft, so I'm not even gonna understand half the shit going on. They were talking about, like, pearls? I don't even know what that means. I mean, I don't know what a pearl is in the real world, but other than that. Okay, so where at? Oh, it doesn't look like his response went over well if they're already memeing it. So where is his 10-page response? I'm assuming it would be like one of the top posts, right? So I'm This is allegedly his response. I gotta say, formatting right away. Gonna have to give this one to this. This is like actual, like, this is professional reporting here. This is how you're supposed to do your papers when you're doing like medical reports and shit. So I gotta give the edge to this team here. But I will definitely read through this. We'll get to it. Basically tier 1 conventional bananas. Pearls are throwable teleportation devices. Okay. A day that'll go down in history.
1.16 random seed glitchless speedruns by Dream from earlier that month.
This is gonna be like the 4th of July
was reviewed
for
by
Minecraft.
Successful trades out of 262 possible trades.
Okay, what does that mean? Somebody that plays Minecraft, break that down for me, because when I first watched this and skimmed to like 6 minutes-ish, I was immediately confused. So what is this trading percentage here? No, I don't understand what the actual trading is. I understand the percentage. He gets a significantly higher margin of successful trades, but what is it, like in the game, what does it do? Like what are these things, like what is he trading for and why? I understand that it's significantly higher, that's not what I'm saying. I'm asking, like in the game, why does he want them? You give them gold, and they have a loot table that they drop randomly, okay? And you want it because the pearls teleport you. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, when it comes to Minecraft, treat it like you're talking to your grandfather and breaking it down for him.
These results are exceptional, as they are not only substantially greater than their expected values, but perhaps more notably, substantially greater than the rates from other top-level runners. But just how rare are Dream's trades? To answer this, we first need to look at some basic statistics,
basically bitch warrior and buns,
specifically at these models called binomial distributions. The goal of a binomial distribution is to show how likely a random event happens, if that event only happens a certain percentage of the time. It's common knowledge that when you flip
always
a coin,
guess heads.
It's a 50-50 chance it either lands on heads or tails. But obviously, if you go to flip a coin right now, it's pretty likely that you'll get something like 3 heads in a row. Or
yeah,
at
I get it now,
least,
Pilot.
something that doesn't fit the 50-50 ratio immediately. By
who did the
how lucky
graphics?
Any one of these scenarios is.
Did they hire like
case
Kurt
where you flip
Sagat to do this shit?
And want to see how likely getting any particular number of which shifts the distribution to the left considerably and makes the slope a lot steeper. Alright, hopefully I didn't lose you too much in the math. But
No,
now we have
not the
proper
math. I
scope
just
to
don't know the
understand
fucking game.
Speedrunners' odds of getting pearl trades over time. But before we get to Dream,
The
let's take a
math
look
was
at
fine
another
to
top
follow.
runner.
I just don't know this
In
fucking
fact,
game
he's
at
the
all.
luckiest runner we could find.
I know I
Illumina.
punch trees and I make a
Over the course of 5
pickaxe.
streams in September and early October, Illumina was able to trade 323 gold with piglins in his RS. That's just for 20 and 323.
I'd say
Dream's odds.
it's good odds. Hey, I'll take those
This
odds.
isn't exactly a good look. Across 6 streams, Dream bartered 262 times and got 42 pearl trades, which when plugged into the formula comes in at 1 in 177 billion. It might be a bit difficult to visualize just how unlikely these odds are.
No,
so
I
it
can
might be
visualize
useful
it.
to put Dream's rates in context with other speedrunners.
That's like the odds of
So
any
members of the
Reddit
community
advice
watched
ever
the
actually
hours of
landing you a
runs together,
date.
created this graph, which shows barters against pearl trades. Dream is just miles above anything remotely comparable, or even reasonable, assuming his rates are the vanilla values. This information has been public to an extent for over a month now.
Who's to say he's
and
just
Dream
not
has
the
released a
chosen one,
document
though?
trying to refute the idea that he cheated.
Oh,
The main
wait,
thing
this is
he's
an
saying
old
is that
response.
the data collected was biased in some way, so the extremely high figures in the billions aren't correct. So let's take a look at some of these supposed biases. The first major argument
Wait,
is
so the document you guys sent me is the old document that they're disputing in here? Nice. Awesome. Okay, well that's, I mean, I guess, is there a reason for me to read through it again, I guess? I mean, we'll play it by ear.
Dream has pushed is that the data is biased because of a stopping rule. He's saying that since he stopped streaming runs because he got a personal best time, that was good because it was lucky, that last data point will be skewed upwards. This isn't the entirety of how stopping rules work, but it is just what Dream mentioned. This is a
Thanks to
quite
Prime
valid
Deborah.
concern, and the way to correct for it is actually pretty complex, and we go into it in the paper. Correcting for this bias, the numbers go from 1 in 170 billion to the low number of 1 in 82 billion.
Wow. I like those
Another
odds.
point that Dream has pushed.
I'll
is that
take
the
that.
Look, we're the first to admit that the data is actually biased, but it's nowhere near as biased as it would have to be to disqualify the evidence. The thing with real-world data is that it's pretty much always going to be biased in some way. But the
Thanks,
field of
resub, fat
statistics
cock.
was made to interpret this stuff nonetheless, and account for all the errors. In our case, we've overcorrected the bias far enough so that we're biasing in favor of Dream, and we're still getting pretty crazy numbers. And we haven't even gotten to the strongest evidence so far.
Minecraft
Guess what
speedrunning
else
is
around top champs in
cutthroat.
speedruns?
If
Blaze
it's
rods.
confirmed Dream
Anyone
cheated,
wanna guess what Dream's
I wouldn't be
blaze
surprised
rod
if the
1
community
in
tried to
113
publicly execute
billion.
him. stone him to death or
Again,
something.
we go into this in much more detail in the paper.
It
don't
is
have much time to talk about
fucking
it here,
dangerous to fuck
but
with
the blazes
Minecraft.
pretty much follow the same logic as the
You
pearls.
see him on Twitter?
Here's a graph showing the other runners, and it's pretty obvious they haven't learned how to get Dream Luck yet. Now, this really isn't looking too good for Dream. Biasing in favor of him, giving very favorable
Here's the Prime
circumstances,
Toasty and
and
Lord
assuming
Ghoul.
the best, the odds for all this happening is still around 1 in 678 trillion.
Good
Well,
odds.
that is before we account for p-hacking. Basically saying, let's be generous and say there are 90 ways to investigate 2 types of RNG. If someone malicious was looking to cherry-pick data, then they would just choose the most unlikely one out of the 90. So, since we'd want to correct for this potential bias, we divide 678 trillion by 90 and get a value of 1 in 7 trillion, which as you may notice is still a ridiculously large number.
But nothing
At this
Dream
point,
can't
I
beat,
think Dream
baby.
would probably want us to
That
account
man
for a
could
second
beat
talking
God
point.
in a
The game
speedrunning
is glitched.
competition in Minecraft.
The game is glitched, or
1 in
Java weird
7.5
argument,
trillion is
something that
basically
Dream
a
wrote about
1 in
his
5
response.
odds, I'd
And
say.
I'm sure a question that some people might be asking is that if the per luck and the blaze luck was high, couldn't that mean that both?
What the fuck is Blaze? Again, this video assumes I know the game. I have no fucking idea how this game works at all. What is Blaze now? Isn't that like a currency, like a cryptocurrency? It's worth like less than my spit in a glass? What does it do in the game? It's a mob. Blaze plus Pearl equals Eye of Sauron? What the fuck are you talking about? Blaze gives you stick that unlocks final boss. Okay. A blaze is a mob that drops a blaze rod that is essential in beating the game. Thank you. Good explanation.
Use the same faulty random generator? The problem here is that bartering and blazes actually use distinct generators.
Ah.
Blazes use the entity random, while barters use the world random, which mean they're completely separate and have no way of interacting.
Until
Let's take a closer
now.
look at pearl trades, for example.
Evolution.
While bartering, the player's in the nether. What else is in the nether? Lava. Lava also happens to use the world generator,
Thanks to Prime
just
Dank.
like the pearls. And there are thousands upon thousands of lava blocks constantly shifting the random generator all over the place, which makes it an extremely entropic environment. Since there is this entropy background radiation, in the time between pearl trades, the RNG is completely scrambled, and the amount of scrambling is random itself, which makes it impossible to have any continued interplay between strings of barters. Additionally, there are just some mathematical reasons that mean pearl drops can't influence one another, so there's really no way these numbers could just be the code's fault. This begs the question, since it looks like Dream might have cheated, how could he do it? Considering he was streaming at the time, left a lot of people with the idea.
What if he
that there
hired
was
the
no
guy
way
that
he could
made
have faked one.
bitcoins to cheat for
This
him?
probably naive viewer. This becomes a
You
bit more
calling me
suspicious
dumb?
when you consider that Dream
What
was
do you
using
mean?
Fabric, which
I
is
could
a
see if
mod
someone
loader
was
that a
cheating,
lot
I
of the
bet.
community. Still, there are many people out there who are probably wondering, why would Dream cheat? Personally, I have no clue. It seems like a pretty stupid thing to do. But we can speculate and look at
Agreed.
previous cheaters
Cheaters
for
never
information.
win.
By the way, this section is not supposed to be a part of the objective analysis, and has no influence on the mod team's decision. But considering how Dream Twitter reacted when the news first broke, combined with Dream heavily focusing on this point himself, we thought it would be worse not to address it. Dream is on the record for hating 1.16 speedruns, considering the enormous amount of luck involved. In the past, he had gotten frustrated with just how lucky the standards for world records had gotten, openly contesting the validity of Corbanus' world record, which was verified as the first sub 15-minute time. Before coming back to live streaming speedruns, Dream stated that he would stop running 1.16 and focus on 1.15
That was a sad
if
day.
he came back at all. And honestly, I
remember
agree
that.
with him.
I remember
The
where I
RNG
was
is pretty
that day.
ridiculous for these categories.
Ruined my whole day.
But just keep this anti-RNG sentiment in mind though, as we take a look at the precedent in other games. Carl Jobs is a speedrunning documentarian, and he's a lot of experience covering illegitimate speedruns and their perpetrators. Here's an excerpt from a Carl video that I thought summed
am
up
I
the
on that?
historical-
Wait, am I on there? Because I accidentally fucked up a while back with a House of Caravan speedrun. I used Sony Vegas time code, and I counted frames instead of time and got like an absurd world record that was like 10 seconds ahead of anybody else. I wonder if he did a story on Charles, the biggest House of Caravan speedrun cheater the world had ever seen.
Context really well.
I'll have to
They may
check
seem
later.
counterintuitive, but you'd be surprised at how often some of the best players inevitably try to fake runs. You might think that having the talent to achieve a world record would make somebody less susceptible to cheating,
Make the
but
Prime
it often
Divergent.
works against them.
And
Having
Quinn.
talent tends to make people feel entitled, and when the game they play doesn't give them the luck they need, they become increasingly frustrated. On top of this, having talent and deep knowledge of a game makes you a better cheater. The fact that better players make better cheaters means that arguments such as, he's such a good player, he has no reason to cheat, are fundamentally flawed. When Billy Mitchell and Todd
Who said this?
Rogers were exposed as
Socrates?
frauds,
What are we reading
this
here?
was one of the most common arguments their defenders tried to make. If anything, having a better understanding of a game makes you more likely to cheat. This is why at the top level, proof standards are so important. I know the idea of Dream cheating can be unsettling to as many fans out there.
It haunts me. It gives me nightmares even thinking about the possibility.
Move. Even if Dream wasn't looking for any placement results, getting good RNG is just way more fun and entertaining to watch. You can't really fault the guy for wanting a more enjoyable casual experience. The only problem is if he was passing it off as an officially legitimate speedrun. Again, our collective decision as moderators is just based on the objective math, not the theories or feelings around it. But by every metric we've tried,
math doesn't care about your
Dream's odds are
feelings,
just unexplainable.
especially not in Minecraft.
In closing, I want to address one important point raised by Dream. As Dream likes to point out, just because the odds of his luck happening are in the trillions, it doesn't mean that's the same chance of him cheating. I mean, with Illumina's considerably lucky 92% odds, it doesn't mean that there was a 92% chance of him cheating. But the thing that Dream misses is that the odds for the event and the odds for cheating are still correlated. If you perform an infinitesimally unlikely event, then you can be extremely confident that something went wrong that allowed it to happen. Just because something is possible doesn't mean that it's at all feasible.
That's like an actual core component of understanding these things, yeah.
Inconceivable subjective opinion.
Even though it's 1 in 7.5 trillion, it doesn't mean that that is actually possible.
After all, the more confident you are that Dream wouldn't cheat, the less this evidence should convince you. But you would need to be almost impossibly certain that Dream wouldn't cheat in order for this not to be convincing evidence. Even giving Dream the benefit of the doubt as much as possible, as moderators, there's no real option other than to deem these runs as illegitimate.
So I understood absolutely nothing when it came to the game, but the math behind that is so fucking wild. I find it incredibly hard to believe that Dream would cheat, especially in what's not even a world record run. But man, I don't know how you dispute this shit. And I really want to see Dream's real response where he doesn't just say clout chasing, because I'd actually like to know what the fuck went on. Because like, this is ironclad. Like, if you brought this evidence to like anything outside of Minecraft, they would be dead to rights. They would be thrown in the fucking slammer. If you brought this fucking evidence anywhere, they're gone. This is watertight. Like, I don't know how you get out of that unless he genuinely hit a 1 in 7.5 trillion run, which again kind of disobeys like a fundamental core component of probability where that, while mathematically is statistically possible, it's just not feasible. I really don't want to read through all this though. I think the video is just more concise. I don't need to see all the fucking algebraic formulas and logarithms. And I don't think Dream will ever actually admit to cheating, even if that was what happened, because he just stands to lose so much and gain nothing from admitting to it. He can easily ignore this. Easily. 500,000 views? If Dream even like posts a 3-second clip of him farting into a mic with Minecraft on the stream, that's 40 million. He doesn't need to address it. He can just let it die out because it's gonna be old news in a couple days anyway. But for my own curiosity, my Zodiac Killer instinct curiosity detective shit, I would love to know if he actually did. But I think that's going to be one of those internet mysteries that never gets solved. But this is apparently his response as of late, so I'd like to see it. It is a mystery. Like, why the fuck what would Dream's motivation for cheating be? I don't think he's an egotistical maniac that needs constant reaffirmation for being like a god of Minecraft. He's said some douchey things on Twitter, yeah, and I definitely didn't really appreciate his response to that video that had so much time and effort put into it. Yeah, I don't really like that. But I don't think he would be stroking his own dick on stream and cheating for not even world records. I really don't think he would. Granted, I don't know the guy, I'm not his fucking therapist, I'm not his best friend, I've talked to him twice maybe. But he just doesn't strike me as the kind of guy. Now let's read this response. There's lots of posts about I'm not gonna read it out loud, I'm not gonna give you a fucking bedtime story, you can read it with me. Follow along. I remember reading on Twitter, wasn't that one of the core things that he does say he regularly, like, clears his files? His logs of the run? If you can't read, then I don't know what to tell you. Go back to school. I don't really like that point. Numbers can be misleading and have been used to falsely convict people in the justice system. I mean, come on man, it's Minecraft. Let's not compare it to some shady shit out there in the real world. Alright, well I look forward to seeing it. I want to see as this shit develops. This has actually got me interested in Minecraft. I want to cheat. See, what's the general response here? Doesn't seem like they're on his side. Oh, it absolutely is. for some reason, Minecraft drama is, like, blown so far out of proportion. More people care about this did Dream cheat or not cheat drama than they do about, like, actual real-world issues. This is trumping, like, their own lives at the moment. I bet people have stayed home from school to do their own independent research on Twitter. Like, it's big. Like, when there's drama in the Minecraft community, you can feel it globally. You'll hear the rumbling of hundreds of thousands of stomachs of 15-year-olds going hungry as they forget to eat, as they're digging deeper into their research, retreating into their discords to crunch numbers with their friends and try and get the answer. It's wild. I fucking love the Minecraft community, though. I genuinely do. I think it's entertaining. I don't play the game, but I do like watching some Minecraft content and some streams. And this drama, I mean, it's a cherry on top. I feel at home now. Being able to, like, look at some drama from the outside, it's just like every other community now. Everything was all, like, sunshine and rainbows for a while in Minecraft, and now we got some pigs playing in the pig pen here. It's getting a little dirty. Muddying the waters a bit, and it's kind of cool. Yeah, it seems like the community's pretty split. It seems like a lot of people don't like Dream as a person, though. I didn't get the impression that he's a douchebag or anything. He seemed like a fine guy to me. I mean, again, some of the things he says on Twitter aren't a good look, but I've never got the impression that he's an asshole. I don't blame Dream for his stands, bro. I have, you know, at the end of the day, if people are gonna stand, they're gonna stand. Why shit on their fun? Especially if it's for you. Just make sure that they're well behaved, I'd say. I think standing as, like, an actual thing is super unhealthy, though, to obsess over celebrities and people you don't know. Be a professional fan of someone. I think that's unhealthy, but it's what people like to do, man. And if it's not hurting anyone, fine by me. Alright, well, I guess that's all there is right now. I'm excited to see more from this. I really would like to see what comes next in this saga. I'll be on the front lines waiting for information to